Hi, welcome back to this channel. I haven't really got any questions from you, so in this video I'm going to just do a book review about a book that I read recently. The book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It is really a classic among a lot of business books. It's probably ranked like top 10. Um, I'm kind of really impressed about the content of the book, especially it has a lot of interesting stories. In fact, it is those stories that are really solidifying that its status, the book's status. It's not that dry kind of just preaching the rules for dealing with people. I often find stories are easier to remember. Let me talk about the book itself. So the book is about 280 pages. In fact, the version I read is like probably the 1980s. The book was originally published probably 1930s. I may be wrong. Anyway, not a long textbook or heavy book, but it does have a lot of difficult words, especially those words that are not used in often in the current society. So I find it kind of I find it I have to stop from time to time in order to look up those words to understand thoroughly, but I don't need to. However, I have a habit of learning as much as possible, so I tend to stop and just grab the difficult word and then look it up on Google, or and find some dictionary to see the meaning. And the other thing is that the book, the English text is not really contemporary English. So by saying not contemporary, I mean the English at the time was kind of pretty long-winded. It's not that straightforward compared to the current contemporary English style. So that adds up to the difficulty to read the book. However, I got through that anyway. So it is a good learning experience. Now let's see what I've learned. So the first is empathy. That's the biggest point that I've learned from this book. The empathy means the ability to understand the other person, especially the other person's feeling and where that person's coming from. In order to do a good work with other people, you have to understand, how the other people think, and that's through the empathy. That's through thoroughly understand the thoughts behind that person's action or motivation. The second point I've learned is that you just have to be humble. Most of the successful people I know of, they're really humble, as pointed out by the book as well. Some people, they're not humble, they have luck and they got successful, but eventually their ego destroyed them. So it's not good to be egotistic, because as a human being, we're actually all one in the grand scheme of things. So there's no point to be egotistical. Just always think about yourself. It's better to understand the other people and keep yourself low key. That way you tend to make less mistakes. The third point I've learned is that it's better to do less talk and more listen. There's a ancient saying that God gives you 2 ears and 1 mouth. So the human beings are designed to talk less and listen more. By listening more, you tend to be a well-rounded person, and it's easier to get along with other people. But if you talk more, you tend to make more mistakes, and then also you can expose your weak points to your competitors. So whether it's in China or in the Western culture, it's always better to keep a low profile and just use your action to prove that to prove your ability rather than just through talking. So those are the three main points I've learned. Of course, the book has a lot of interesting points, and I would highly recommend that you could read it. And the book, what I think it's I could revisit the book, from time to time, maybe once a year or twice a year, or every 2 years, in order to not forget the lessons and the teaching from the book. So that's it for this video. I actually really enjoy reading that book, and I also read other books as well, and I will share more book reviews in the future, both the book I've read or the books I've listened through audiobooks. If you have a question, then you can comment below, or you can send to jc@advancedj.com. I'll add your question to the queue and answer accordingly. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video.